Today in the Nerdy Gritty, we talk about a bunch of stuff, including an Uncharted movie, a mass shooting in the DC universe, and esports on live television.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I am Dez.
And I'm Fox.
And Fox made it through that intro, that pre-intro.
It took 2 tries.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
No, it's been worse for me.
So it is that time of year again, folks. It is the San Diego Comic-Con time of year. And
It
was this past weekend.
Right.
But for you guys, it'll be a week ago.
Sure.
But a lot of really cool things happened there. Like, one of my favorite things was Mark Hamill straight up lied to everybody. Did you hear about this?
No, what did he...
So, Mark Hamill...
He was like, I enjoyed The Last Jedi.
Hey, that movie was good. We just talked about that.
No, I don't...
just talked about that.
I feel like I've seen somewhere, it may or may not be true, but that Mark Hamill was not a big fan of how Luke was portrayed. But I don't know.
So... Anyway, he was doing a lot of, like, I'll be there. Will you find me? Maybe I'll be wearing masks. But I'll be there.
Oh, is he trying to pull a Adam Savage?
And he was there. He was there, but somebody said, wait, my friend told me that you were this guy. And it was because Luke's like a staunch liberal. And so it was Darth Trump.
Luke is a staunch liberal.
Oh, I mean, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that's fine.
Look,
it's pretty much his.
He's also the Joker.
But that's about it.
But he's a staunch liberal, right. And so there was somebody there that was Darth Trump or Orange Vader, and he had like orange mask and then Trump hair, and it said "Make the Death Star Great Again" on the back and whatnot. Sure. Anyway. So, and somebody had a picture of him. He said, wait, my friend said this was you. And he's just like, it's true. All of it. Just quoting,
right.
And so he's like, yeah, that was me. And then they go like on and on and on. Like, oh, I saw you. Oh, it's great. Oh, whatever. And then an article's like, no, that was this other dude named whatever.
That was just some guy.
Yeah. And it was pretty funny. But Mark Hamill just straight up lied.
Just for funsies?
I guess.
All right. Are you gonna argue with Luke Skywalker?
But there were also a lot of really cool trailers and announcements that come out of San Diego Comic-Con. So trailers are what we're going to talk about right now, just for a little bit.
That's the right now. San Diego Comic-Con is less about comics and more about movies and TV shows.
Comic book movies
pop
culture movies. Yeah. So what do you got?
I watched a bunch of them. I don't know if I watched all of them. Most of them I was like, oh, okay, I don't really care. I watched the big superhero ones like Shazam and Aquaman and all that. Wasn't impressed by either of those. The trailer that I saw that I enjoyed the most, man, it was kind of a disappointing, probably Godzilla.
The King of the Monsters?
The one that I'm probably most excited to watch out of what I saw. There might be more that I haven't seen, but that one.
I'm not going to lie, it looked really cool.
I love kaiju movies when they're campy, but also kind of like, when they can ride that line between, there's movies I can get into here, but I think the first one, it's the second American Godzilla, the one before this.
Right.
Almost got it really good. Almost did a very good job where the monsters are cool, but it's not all about monsters. There's actually some characters that you're interested in. Unfortunately, those characters aren't actually the focus on, that they focus on. Mm-hmm. So this one I think they could do a little better. I'm pretty excited about that.
The visuals Mothra extending its wings,
right,
and like the light behind that 3-headed dragon thing are just terrifying.
It's King Ghidorah, I forget his name.
Yeah,
but
whatever it is.
But yeah,
awesome.
the idea of just like this massive creature in the distance has always been kind of cool to me.
Yes.
Like those images from Stranger Things season 2,
right,
of the shadow monster
that's like over the whole town
way in the distance is just like, oh, it like gives you that foreboding feeling. So I love, and also this is supposed to eventually lead to a King Kong tie-in and also Pacific Rim because they're all legendary pictures.
So Okay.
Which sounds ridiculous
What
and
people are
awesome.
saying is that it could lead to that.
They have talked about. They specifically made King Kong in Kong Skull Island. They specifically made him as big as he is so that he would be comparable to Godzilla. That's why they made him as big as he is, because he's far larger in that than any of the other movies.
Oh man.
Anyway, go ahead.
On the other hand, so the Aquaman trailer, I agree, it looks good.
It
looks fun. It looks standard. That's a great way to put it. It looks standard.
I do like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I like this version of Aquaman.
Yeah, kind of like heavy metal Aquaman.
Pretty much, or just like Savage Man.
Yeah. But I really liked the Shazam trailer.
Oh my goodness.
I really did.
I found it so obnoxious.
And it was hilarious, I thought. To me,
disagree.
it's like Big meets Superman. And, the teenager stuck in a man's
Hanks
body.
wasn't obnoxious in Big. Like, he had some goofy kid things that he did, but then it became... like, obviously, it's a trailer. We can't tell what the movie's going to be about. But the trailer for Big, I don't know, was...
Here's what I'll say.
Maybe it's just because it's like a modern day teenager and they're all the worst. Just kidding. You're not all the worst. You're the best.
Here's what I'll say. I am a youth pastor, and I know and hang out with a lot of teenagers, and
I'm there for a lot of that time too.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, I think Zachary Levi I do love Zachary. In the trailer, he's done a great job. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Sure.
And I like this idea of like having to make super heroic choices, but with the attitude and mindset of a teenager.
Sure,
how that's going to play out.
That's a good plan.
And if they take that seriously, they're going to be able to balance a really good comedic movie with some really challenging and honest like questions of maturity.
Sure,
and what it means to have power.
They don't have a good track record of serious and fun. Marvel has.
Yeah.
Marvel has plenty of movies where and it's just this weird thing where, why can't you guys do this?
Yeah.
Like, they've gotten like 20 movies in now that have done that, and they just can't get it right.
I just feel like there are DC executives that are like, people come up like, cool, see what they did? All right, so we're going to do that with Shazam though. And somebody's like, yeah, but how grim is it going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, not at all. No. It's got to be grim.
Yeah, how much angst is there? And that's where the Titans comes in.
Oh,
I
Titans.
feel like a Teen Titans show would be great. But the trailer for the Titans TV show, I feel like they've boxed themselves in a corner by how they've portrayed Batman.
Yeah.
Where, okay, well, these are all... I mean, Robin, the main character, is Batman's sidekick, and a Robin who comes out of this Batman's training would probably be like this. And so now we have to make it like this. Mm-hmm. And it just seems so, like, steeped in depression and darkness that it just seems like it'll be so boring.
Yeah, I also hate their version of Starfire.
Yeah,
I really didn't like.
I am much more excited for the Teen Titans Go movie that's coming out this weekend.
It looks ridiculous.
I'm much more excited for that than the Titans show, because Teen Titans Go, whether or not you like it compared to other Teen Titans thing, at least it's fun. Like, it's fun, and it's self-reflective, and it makes commentary on the movie industry right now, and that is not something you expect from Teen Titans Go. Right. I'm really excited for that.
I'm mad just because the whole Titan, or not Titans, no, it is Titans, sorry, the Titans TV show, there's already a really good one of those. It's called Young Justice. Yeah. And it's a cartoon, sure, but it's really good.
Right.
The writing is top-notch. The characters are wonderful. You identify with them. You grow with them. It's not at all cartoony, as you think. You know what I mean?
It's animated.
It is, yeah. It's more of an anime.
But not as you would expect a cartoon to be. That has a certain connotation to it.
And, I mean, I would even say, like, if they just brought those writers in and were like, hey, can you make a live-action show that's pretty much the same thing?
They seem to have trouble just being cohesive.
Yeah.
Like, having a singular vision of what they want to create.
Yep.
Anyway, that's a lot of time spent on that.
Yeah, but we have more than just that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, particularly in the film world going on right now.
Right.
Nathan Fillion just recently released a short film that was developed by him and a few other people.
Right.
But it is about 15 minutes, I think.
It's 15 minutes long.
15 minutes of Him as Nathan Drake.
He is Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
Yes.
It's non-specific as when it's set in the storyline, although they do mention Chloe.
Right.
So, I mean, that's still non-specific.
And he's with Elena.
He's with Elena, but also, if you just go by age-wise, it's probably later in the series, because Nathan Fillion is a little older now. As time passes, that tends to happen.
Yeah.
So it really could be set anytime. There's not really any references to the games themselves, as far as their plots, and it's basically just the like a section where, like, a short plot. Nathan Drake has been captured. He's taken to the bad guy's stronghold, or at least they're his, like, henchmen,
right? And
he's being tortured for information, and then he breaks out and and he's trying to steal an item, and then meets up with Elena and Sully, and they escape, and they're like, time to go to the Philippines, and that's when it ends. Yeah, and it was awesome.
It was great.
It was so much fun.
It felt like a section of the video game.
Yes.
It really did. And they even did the cinematography like that as well.
Yeah, there's a section, like, it reminded me of Doom, the movie, where there's, like, that first-person section, but that was really lame.
Oh, I disagree. So I got a preview for that, like a pre-showing, the week before it actually released, because I was working at GameStop at the time, and the audience literally cheered in the theater, which it was all nerds, like it was all like video games people. But the moment it was the Carl Urban looking in the mirror at his own hands in first person view.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I use the word lame a lot. Maybe that's the difference. It's not... I feel like that section in the Uncharted short film is cinematically really cool. Yes. Because it's one long unbroken shot following behind this character. Things happen continuously in this shot. So, like, there's really good timing as far as, like, characters hitting their marks at certain times, and then a Jeep driving in and things like that. So that was impressive, more than just a video game reference. And if somebody who hasn't played the game saw that movie and that happened,
it just looks good.
They'd be like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if you watch the Doom movie, why is, like, a tiny bit of this movie in first person? That's weird.
Right.
If you haven't played the Doom games, you're like, what is going on?
What is going on right now? Yeah. It was definitely fan service component.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was that scene actually annoyed me a little bit right afterward, because, like, he's like, Sully, I need your help. And then Sully comes in like a windowless, roofless Jeep, and like 83 people are shooting at him, and Nathan Drake just runs over, jumps in, and like everybody's shooting at them.
Yeah. But also, have you played an Uncharted game?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because that's exactly what happens. But there is a certain amount of just accepting that these are main characters in an adventure movie.
Right. Plot armor.
Yep, plot armor.
No, what I really liked about it is, so if you guys don't know this, years ago, there was plans to make an Uncharted movie.
Yeah.
It was prepped, ready to go, script, like, ready for production. And when they were in pre-production, like when they were getting ready to do stuff, they were talking about casting, and fans got a hold of it, and they were like, it has to be Nathan Fillion.
Obviously Nathan Fillion.
It has to be Nathan Fillion.
He is that.
Yeah, this was a much younger Nathan Fillion,
yeah,
of course.
Captain Mal is pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And it just kept going, and then, like, Nathan Fillion got to it, and he was like, I'd love to. Yeah. I'd be all about that. And everyone's like, good, because it has to be.
We got it.
And then the studio's like, and we cast Mark Wahlberg.
That was the potential. I don't know how far it ever got.
I'm pretty sure they were like, that was our guy. It definitely got
caught up in development hell. I just don't know at what stage. Well, so that might have been the huge rumor, or he might have been. Still, that was what they were going for.
What it was, like, we're going for Mark Wahlberg, and when they did that, the fans were like, cool, we're not watching the movie.
Okay, bye. No, thank you.
Nobody's going to watch your movie. Yeah.
And you should feel bad.
Yeah, you're wrong, and you're dumb.
Yeah.
And so, I got caught in development hell, and...
that's good. I want it to be caught in development hell, if that's what your direction is.
And so nothing ever came of it, and this was, to me, like, a really cool concept film. Like, yes. Hey, if you were to make one...
Proof of concept.
Yeah, proof of concept. Like, it could be this good.
I was telling you yesterday, it reminded me of, like, when Ryan Reynolds, quote-unquote, accidentally leaked the Deadpool test footage. And then now... Fox is making billions of dollars because of Deadpool.
Right.
So, hey, guys... Do it. Like, make a movie now. Yeah. I also think the time is ripe as well for a good Uncharted movie. Tomb Raider that came out 6 months ago, however long ago, was
good,
relatively one of the better video game movies.
Right.
It still had some problems, of course, but it was relatively. Assassin's Creed was also in that basket. It tried to do too much, but it was relatively one of the better video game movies.
Was it? I heard bad things about it, actually.
Oh, there were bad things. There was more than Tomb Raider bad things.
Yeah.
But it still respected the source material a decent length.
That's good.
It just tried to do too much.
Michael Fassbender, right?
Yes. Yeah. Which you're getting some pretty big stars. Alicia Vikander was Lara Croft.
Lara Croft, yeah.
And she's huge right now. She's in a lot of good movies. So I think the time is ripe. I'm really hopeful that this will happen.
Well, and what I was saying is, okay, maybe you don't want to go for late in years.
Yeah.
47 years old is Nathan Fillion right now. 47-year-old Nathan Drake. I was thinking Oscar Isaac.
He's also not super young either. He's probably mid-30s.
But he looks young
enough. He looks younger.
He looks young enough that he could get away with a 30-year-old Nathan Drake that does something every couple of years or whatever. And he's a campy guy and a quippy. That's what I'm saying. A quippy guy.
He has the ability to be pretty quippy.
Yeah, and he's also like...
Specifically Poe Dameron.
Yeah, well, and he's also
Most
like attractive guy.
Oh, sure, yeah, like
dashing
dude.
He's definitely dashing.
Most of his movies are much more cerebral and slow and methodical, but Poe Dameron would definitely be a good.
Well, he could do great at that.
Sure.
And so, and that's kind of my point is he also has the ability to act well.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
One thing that's beautiful of the Uncharted movies is sure Nathan Drake is a great hero, but he also has a lot of growth throughout the 4 video games, and his story is a really great story of progression and coming to a point, like, spoiler alert, in the 4th one, he gives it all up, but it's like the perfect timing for him to do this.
Yeah.
And he grows to a point where he's like, you know what, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want that life of excitement and adventure anymore. I mean, it's fun and it's great, but I want to settle down with my wife and a business.
I want to play Crash Bandicoot in our nice house.
Yeah, exactly. And roll around with a Nerf gun and shoot things. You know what I mean? And so it ended up really, really great. And I think Oscar Isaac could play that really well.
That'd be fun.
And even in his own progression of years, come out with a few Uncharted movies.
Get Nathan Fillion in there to be like a writer.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Or even make him Sam, older brother.
He just blew my mind right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both grew up in an orphanage. He's an adopted brother. They don't look very similar. So he's an adopted brother. Like,
it'd be great.
Or one of them's adopted. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that would be great, actually. I want that to happen a lot right now.
So this is Des and Fox calling out to probably Sony Pictures, if we're honest, because Naughty Dog.
Well, because 100%, it would have to be
Sony Pictures.
They own the rights to.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. Sony's bad. Sony has a bad track record with like IP movies.
Yeah.
Oh no, Venom. I'm very worried. Not worried. I don't care. I just don't think it'll be that great.
Spider-Man movies were good.
That's true.
Yeah.
17 years ago. Ghostbusters was terrible. All right.
The new Ghostbusters.
The new one.
I was gonna fight you.
No, the original Ghostbusters is very close to a perfect movie.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah.
Let's move on here.
You should watch that short film and then do all you can to make it happen. Comment on everything.
Absolutely.
Write to your local Nathan Fillion and tell him I want this movie.
I have a local
You
Nathan
have a local
Fillion.
one. Every city has one.
He just, whenever you write to him, he has to fly on a plane and run to that mailbox.
Why do I do this?
I should have made it just your state, Nathan, not your local one. Okay.
Just your friendly neighborhood, Nathan Fillion.
Your friend, not neighborhood. He's got to go to each neighborhood.
Anyway.
Knocking on doors. Hi, I'm your neighborhood, Nathan. Why am I doing this? Oh.
When are you going to make more Firefly? I don't have time. I really don't have time. How does Santa Claus do this?
Okay.
Well, yeah. So let's move on.
Yeah, moving on here. We also wanted to talk about. You want to do Heroes in Crisis first?
Yeah. Let's talk about. Well, no.
Esports.
Yeah, let's save the most serious for last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So esports. Recently, there's been a lot of news about the fact that Disney, the parent company to ABC, is going to start airing live Overwatch tournaments.
That's so cool.
They are starting and we want to kind of talk about the coolness of that, but also like what's it gonna be like, what should happen, but also just like
how is that going to impact the gaming world?
Yeah, how that impact the gaming world. There was one other thing I want to talk about, but let's continue with that.
It's ESPN as well.
ESPN,
has been putting some stuff on. So ESPN has been trying to get a younger audience as sports in general, like all of the big four: hockey, baseball, football, basketball.
Yeah,
all four of those ages are rising. It's been an average of about 4 or 5 years per year of the age. So it's like the age of the people are not aging with the sports are aging faster.
Honestly, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. And so that's kind of a problem. And I am at 35 young for a baseball fan.
Yeah.
For a real baseball fan. So ESPN, obviously trying to stay relevant, has been doing a lot of things like disc golf. They've been showing stuff, things like that. And
when are they going to start showing Quidditch?
I want them to.
The college Quidditch.
That's an actual sport, man. It really is. So, but esports is one of the things they're trying to get behind right now to try and get some younger viewers.
Right. And
I think this is awesome.
I think it's really cool. I had friends in Joplin where I lived for a while. A dad, and he had kids, and one of his kids really loved watching like Minecraft videos on YouTube and stuff.
Right. And
this is a while back, but his dad just put on Facebook like, man, my son really loves watching these. Like, how I don't get it. Like, how can he just sit there and watch somebody else play a video game? He has Minecraft, and I just commented like, well, lots of people like to just watch other people play football.
Yeah.
Like, and then his response was, oh, I get it. Like, he immediately like, okay, I understand. Like, it's not necessarily just like I'm not good or I can't do it. It's just like we're interested in something, we want to see it happen.
This is something I am passionate about, and I like watching people do it differently, do it well,
better than me, new strategies, like all that kind of stuff,
or not as good as me, and you'd be able to sit there and superior. Say, like the couch quarterback instead of the couch Minecraft.
Wow, yeah, that head coach was garbage today.
Absolutely.
Was he though? Was he?
Oh, they should be paying you tens of millions of dollars.
That's a bad argument, but
but the main point here is that Let's Plays and watching people play things is something that is happening.
It's a thing now.
Yeah, it's a thing now. And so why not, like any other competitive game, put it on TV?
Yeah, especially competitive games.
Yeah,
like that's generally all you put as sports wise. But yeah, you put those on there. Like, it's a weird thing, kind of, even for me to think about like watching a video game on ESPN,
right? Because
I still, even with the amount of time I dedicate to games, I have a hard time considering it a sport because I've always had this assumption or just prerequisite for a sport to need to like be physically active and to sweat while you're doing it, which I don't know why I've thought that. Like, in retrospect, that's just how sports are.
I'm going to sound like
there's no rule.
I'm going to sound like a hipster here, but it's a social construct.
Well, it is.
It's just that 100% society has told you that for so long. I feel like the same way, but I remember there being an argument when I was probably like 10 or 11, so you'd have been young at the time, but at the time it was when Bobby Fischer was becoming really popular.
Yeah, chess guy.
And there was this whole thing where it was like, chess is a sport, guys. I mean, no, you can't lose weight and exercise. Yeah, but it's really intellectual and strategic, and it's competitive, and chess is a sport, people. And ESPN showed chess matches for a while.
Yeah.
And ESPN currently shows poker.
Yeah, like 6 hours a night, overnight of poker tournament.
Like men are exercising in the gym, getting ready for their poker night. Really, all they're doing is just staring at themselves in the mirror and not moving their face.
Their poker face, getting it going. Yeah, wearing different types of sunglasses to look the most douchey they can. That's what they're for, I think.
One
right?
guy just has this giant sunglasses that covers his entire face.
How great would it be in a World Poker Tournament to have a guy who has those giant novelty clown sunglasses? He never mentions them. Just completely takes himself seriously, but just wears those.
And they're mirrored on the front. So, like, you look and you only really see yourself.
You just see yourself being like... Like, how great would that be? I want him to be really good also. Never take them off, even when they're like, congratulations! And he's just wearing these giant sunglasses.
He actually tries, like, those guys put the hoodie on. He puts his, and it's, like, wide out. His hoodie's all, like, sprayed out sideways from these
He's got
sunglasses.
a custom-made hoodie.
Just a giant.
With his poker tournament winnings. Anyway. Yeah, I'm really excited for this to be a thing. Like, I'm gonna be stereotypical here.
Okay.
I mean, we know that sports fans are gaining in age,
right?
As you've just mentioned, and I would say that it's stereotypically true, which usually it comes from a place of truth. Okay, that's probably not a great place to be, but older people tend to be a little more wary of change.
Of course.
Would you agree with that? Okay.
I think that's not even like a stereotypical thing. That's just like a societal, anthropological
it's just a thing. Like, people like it how it was when they were younger.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they become established. They develop
and this is how they feel comfortable.
And now they're established. Yeah.
And so the shift into digital sports is a big change. It's not just a new sport. It's how this sport is played. It's how it's, like, shown. It's not even, like, technically real. Like, you're just they're video game characters running around. You're just pressing buttons. And so I feel like that's where this pushback is coming from, is simply from a state of, well, this is how it used to be and I don't like change. And I'm really excited that big names like Disney in the form of ABC
Absolutely.
and ESPN are
getting behind this,
making this happen. I mean, in fact, there are even, like, state colleges in California that have esport scholarships.
Which
things are happening.
Extra Credits did an episode on that once, and it was really interesting, basically saying that's great. Unfortunately, video games don't have a 4-year lifespan.
Yeah.
And so you're going to go to college.
That was a really interesting...
Yeah, so what are we going to do about that? Not saying that, it's moot. It's just saying, okay, how are we going to change the esports world to make games last?
I'm going to go watch that video again. I just assumed that those scholarships would be for, like, tech degrees. Like coding and designing and like... Are they specifically to learn how to play Overwatch? Because that'd be weird.
I think so.
Interesting. I'm gonna look that up again. That seems
because other than StarCraft, I don't think any other game has that sort of longevity.
It's just StarCraft is the exception here.
Yeah. So I see some pros and cons in this, actually.
Oh yeah.
Definite pros are, if this becomes more and more popular and more common, how cool would it be for ESPN to live stream games done quick? And for a charity to be on
how much more
ESPN.
Money will they make?
I know, right?
$2.1 million this year at Summer SGDQ.
So many people that are casual in video games but love sports, which are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of guys who only play sports games and don't even know GDQ exists.
Yeah.
They're going to flip on ESPN and be like, what's going on? What's this game? Oh, this is for a charity? Well, maybe I'm not going to watch it, but I'll pitch in $5.
Sure.
And if, 50,000 guys pitch in $5, that's another $25,000 to GDQ.
Right,
you know what I mean? That's so cool of these types of opportunities, as well as for allowing gaming to become more of a mainstream thing. I have learned over the years to take pride in what I do, so I have no shame in being like, yeah, I love video games. I love the art behind it. But there are a lot of people out there that don't have that sort of confidence.
Right.
And for it to become more normalized would be awesome.
Right.
On the flip side, though, what I worry about is publishing companies' desire to make the next esports game. And all of their funds will start... Because here's the thing with esports games is it's not going to be like baseball that's been going on for 140, 150 years now.
Sure.
That's never going to happen with an esports game. There will never be a 150-year-old. Yeah, never be. There probably won't even be a 50-year-old esports game. You know what I mean? And so the goal for a lot of companies will be, okay, let's pretend and hope and pray that we might get a 10-year cycle.
That'd be
out of
crazy.
this.
I could see Overwatch doing that, but
Right.
that'd be crazy.
But that's like top-notch 10-year cycle until
Right.
the next big esports game comes out. Okay, it's been 7 years. We want to start putting all of our money to making what could be the next big esports game. And for the next 3 years, everything else we put out is going to become kind of lackluster.
Sure. But I mean, how different is that from right now? I mean, it would be different. It would be more extreme. But I mean, EA, we're going to put all our money into making Battlefront 2. And even that was kind of like, you know, their business practice is not good. But like, they already have focuses. This is just going to further.
That's true.
This is going to further kind of separate the wheat from the chaff. I think you're going to start having a video game. I mean, it's probably going to create a divide in the community. More like somebody who's just in it for playing Overwatch to make money. And no, I'm an actual real video gamer. I actually play real video games. I don't just go play Overwatch to make, you know, to get on TV. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to be an issue in the community, and that's gonna happen. We have to be better than that, but it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't think that definitely is true. I agree with you. I don't think it'll be that different than how it is today.
That's actually fair. And I'm thinking about it like the main esports games are like PUBG, and PlayerUnknown doesn't make anything else.
That
Blizzard does Overwatch. I mean, they do some other stuff, but nothing that is going to suffer because they're focusing on Overwatch.
Sure.
You know, and for the most part, like, maybe EA, because even then, like, esports has some, like, Battlefront or Halo or things like that, but for the most part, it's the online massive multiplayer type stuff. So, like your Fortnites and your Battle Royale or whatever else. So, maybe other games will come up to that, but for the most part, no, I guess you're right. You've calmed my fears.
No, I think this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity more than a worry to me, this whole idea. And I think one of the big, like, why not have sports video games? Like, why not have ESPN show Madden tournaments?
Oh, yeah.
Like, why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like that has to be a thing they do. People, like, right before the Super Bowl, you show the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a thing. People who watch sports also play sports video games.
In my brain, you said, why not have an sports video game? And I was like, so wait, you mean a video game in which you're playing as a person who's playing
it's gonna happen. There's already sports or football manager or whatever. Right. Why not, like, esports manager? And you start a team, and you're the one directing your players to play Overwatch in an esports league.
I will say this.
How deep can we go here?
One thing that is pretty cool to me is in the EA football series, there's NCAA football, NFL Manager, and Madden football. And you can create a character in NCAA football as the manager, draft that character into Madden NFL, and you can have that character go from college to...
Sports games have become... They're
RPGs.
They are RPGs.
They are.
They are now RPGs, and it's amazing. I'm waiting for the JRPG football game.
They have it. It's called Blitzball, and that needs to be in esports.
Blitzball would be great.
Yes. Also, real Blitzball would be great.
An idea just came into my head. Why not, like, Rockstar has somebody, like, highly edited cinematic weekly episodes of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's still somebody playing
so, like, a Let's Play
but
of
you
it,
have
basically?
Essentially a Let's Play, but you have, like, angles, you have, like, a cinematic camera usage, and so you're watching the story of Red Dead Redemption 2,
really cool.
but on TV.
So, I mean, I like this idea of camera usage where this is specifically modded by Rockstar.
Rockstar itself makes it.
Yeah, and it's like, you can only do this, only Rockstar can do this, but they're doing it where they have cameramen, and there's one guy playing, and he just sees what he's playing in the video game.
He's just playing the game.
But they're able to, like, change camera angles and to move. Like, they have like 3 bots in the game that are just like invisible bots that are just floating around.
Sure, just getting different angles, all recording at the same time, and then afterward they edit it together. And, I mean, that I don't see happening, because also the idea of, like, esports is generally replayability, and you can get people to watch it over and over again and make more money.
Right.
Whereas they also want you to buy Red Dead Redemption 2, so if you just watch the TV show that's a story, you're going to lose some money there because people have already seen it and don't need to buy it now, which is a possible thing. I don't know how big of a deal that was, but it's an idea.
Or what about like a Quantum Dream or Quantic Dream or whatever it is game where use of text stuff, like live texting or live stream tweeting, and voting.
Yeah.
Like, the fans that are watching it get to vote on what decisions are being made.
ESPN plays instead of Twitch plays.
No, this would be ABC.
Plays.
Like,
ABC
on
plays,
your primetime hour of whatever. Like,
ABC plays Heavy Rain.
Man,
like, I mean, we already do that with like reality shows where you vote you text your vote in.
Right, exactly.
Look, there are lots of possibilities here,
but
we do have another topic to get to.
Okay, yeah. So last topic to get to, and one that's a little bit more on the serious area here, is in the DC universe, there is an upcoming event called Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be talking about kind of what this could mean and the importance of this, but let me explain to you what this is. In the DC universe, there is something called Sanctuary, and Sanctuary is something that has been developed by Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and the idea of it is a place in which superheroes can go, or heroes can go, to recover from trauma in some way. So maybe they went to save somebody and they failed, and they see people dead in front of them, and it's very psychologically damaging to them. Instead of them trying to go out and just keep grinding at this, there's a place called Sanctuary in which they can go and get counseling or relax, or even just spa treatments, things like that.
Yeah.
One of the most recent examples is Poison Ivy, a villain actually, but an eco-terrorist. So it's not like she's doing it for the evil of evil and for the money or whatever. Like, so she just had this huge freak out breakdown, and her girlfriend, Harley Quinn, was like, hey, I want you to go to Sanctuary. Like, I want you to go to this place. And so it's an opportunity for these heroes to come and kind of just relax and get help when they need help, so they can be refreshed and filled when they go back into the world to do their superheroism. What Heroes in Crisis is going to be is that there will be a mass shooting at Sanctuary.
Yeah. They haven't really released details.
Right.
But that's a thing that's going to happen.
So what this means is that in some way somebody will sneak a weapon into there, and in some way there will be a shooting. And of course, heroes, we don't know who or what or how, will die because of this.
Sure.
And what I think is the coolest thing about this is the relevance to modern day issues.
Right. That's definitely the point of it, clearly. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Which is a good thing, but also I kind of bristle at, okay, so obvious, but also like, why not?
Well,
why not be obvious?
Because this is something comic books have done well for a while, and unfortunately have kind of gotten away from this in recent years. But back in like the 70s, they did this huge thing called, maybe you've heard of them, the X-Men. And
you mean they're now women? They used to be men.
They used X-Men.
They're X-Men.
The X-Men were this group of heroes that were hated just because of what they were.
Yeah.
And there was all of a sudden this bigotry toward them, and obviously it was this mirroring of racial issues that were going on at the time, and the way that people were trying to kind of get out of this civil rights era and into a more equal era. And so this mirrored and reflected that. At the same time, DC did this huge run on drug stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. They had Speedy, who was Green Arrow's sidekick. He was addicted to cocaine.
Oh.
Yeah. And like they had like several issues of like him struggling with this, and that's why, and he eventually like Green Arrow was like, you can't be Speedy anymore until you get, and he came back as Arsenal. And like he was all edgy and mean, but he did kick his drug habit, and that was something that he dealt with forever after that. There was a time in which Ant-Man, Hank Pym, not the new Ant-Man.
Yeah, not Scott Lang. Henry
Pym was a wife beater.
Yeah, he beat his wife.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so there were a lot of times that comics tried to take these really relevant issues and bring them into a superheroic era and say, how would superheroes deal with this, and how can we make our readers also kind of deal with this on their own?
Sure, sure. I appreciate that they're doing this. Here's what I mean by obvious. I feel like Civil War already did this, as in the comic event.
Right.
When essentially what causes Civil War is a superhero mass shooting. Not a mass shooting
No, it's an
in words.
explosion.
It is Nitro, a
Right.
lower tier villain. His power is that he explodes. Whatever happens specifically, I don't know. But he does that after being goaded into running away and defending himself from heroes that are gonna try to capture him. A
C-list
reality
hero,
show.
yeah, a C-list hero reality
Yeah,
TV
all that
show.
thing. He runs away and then explodes next to an elementary school.
Yeah.
And kills like 800 people, including lots of children. And then that's basically what causes the government to say, hey, we have to have a registration. If you are going to be this, then you have to be on the government list. Then they basically, without using guns, before guns are such an issue as they are today, essentially talk about mass shootings and then trying to implicate in gun control into the society.
Right.
Which is, I like that a little more. It's a little more, it's the same thing. It's a little, obviously we can't say it's the same thing, I guess, because we haven't seen the story. But it's essentially the same idea that makes a little more sense for a superhero community. Because the hard part for me to accept is, A, how does somebody get a weapon into this place? What's their goal? To shoot Superman with a gun? What are they gonna do? Batman's faced a million people with guns, even ones that snuck up on him and he didn't know might have been there at first. So what? How? What's gonna happen?
I mean, I'm guessing
Answers
it's going
will
to
be given, of
B-list superheroes and whatever. But
yes,
here's the truth, though, is that I don't think that their goal here is. I agree with you that Civil War did this great job of saying, here is a traumatic event, and now let's create this political drama and conflict in which side is right.
Yes.
Do people have a right to their own identities and their own secrecy? Even superheroes? Sure. But also, is it really dangerous to have these people going around just doing whatever they want? Yeah. How do we balance this? What's the middle ground? How do we do this? And I was actually really surprised when S.H.I.E.L.D. won that. That Iron Man, like the superhero registration that came through. I don't think this is what Heroes in Crisis is going to be.
Okay.
I don't know, obviously.
It's like, okay, let's rephrase it then. That's not what you want it to be?
That's not what I want it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not what I want it to be. What I want it to be is the question, what happens when superheroes don't feel safe anymore?
That's the real, like, I love this idea of Sanctuary. I didn't know about this whole thing. I'm currently reading the DC universe, but pretty far back before this, and I don't know what Sanctuary is yet. I haven't gotten there. But just, to me, it's like the perfect Batman thing.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite things about Batman is that he sees his villains. Like, I love when he calls his villains by their actual name.
Yeah.
Because it's just this idea that, no, he thinks they can change.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be able to change.
Yeah.
And so he has to
see.
So what does he need? Probably comfort and safety. So he wants to provide that for even villains, but also, of course, other superheroes. So I like that idea, and I like the idea of what happens when that gets taken away. I like that more as a psychological idea rather than just a political idea.
One thing they did back in the drug era with Speedy is they had vignettes where they'd be like, fight, 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 and then you turn a page and it would like be cutting between two different scenes, and it would go back to this other scene, and Speedy's just standing there, and it's just a full page image of him and this big long like text on the side of him talking about how it started, how he got into it, and what changed. And like, it would be super cool, I think, they even have like a few panels in the article that we wrote of Harley Quinn at Sanctuary just talking to a camera and talking about, we don't know what yet, but we see the first 3 panels of her like smiling, talking, getting up in the camera's face because she's goofy, sitting back and calming more, hand in face, crying in the last panel.
Sure.
And I think vignettes like that would be cool to see, like, heroes fighting go in, and then it cuts to like Wonder Woman into like an interview camera of Wonder Woman, her saying like, I've wanted to be this ambassador for peace, and I finally felt like we created a place of peace and healing and comfort, and now I've had that shattered, and it only makes me wonder, is my mission moot? Like,
is what I am doing possible?
Yeah. And to have the heroes doubt themselves in this way would be such a cool thing. And of course, what you want them to say in the end is, it doesn't matter, I'm going to try anyway.
Sure.
So hopefully that's what comes out of this. But at the same time, this whole like entirety of mourning among the heroes, they did this in Identity Crisis as well.
Yep.
Grant Morrison, and it was so choice, so good.
Sure.
I want that to be in Heroes in Crisis as well.
The most interesting stories about superheroes are when they're not really considered superheroes.
Yeah, they're very humanized.
When they are people dealing with people problems. Maybe in superhero ways,
right.
But when you can see their humanity through it all, even if they're not human. And so this, I think, is a perfect opportunity for that.
And the other side of this is they say it's going to be a mystery. Who did it? How did they do it? What happens? And so it's going to be
Identity
this, like,
Crisis again.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody's going to die, and then they're all going to try to figure out what happened.
Identity Crisis is probably my favorite collective series in graphic novels. Like, there are some standalone graphic novels that I might like better, but as far as like collected series in comic books, Identity Crisis might be one of my favorite. Yeah. It's so good.
It's pretty good.
But I hope that this really reflects that Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, why not?
Well, guys, thanks for listening. This is our rapid fire episode. As rapid as about 15 minutes per topic is.
Rapid for us.
Yeah, very rapid for us. So let us know what you think about these things. What previews did you like about Comic-Con? What do you think about Nathan Fillion's Uncharted short? What do you think about esports being on network and cable television?
Yeah.
And what do you think about Heroes in Crisis? Read up on all these things, find out about these things, and let us know what you think in the comics. Thanks again for listening, and remember, save games, save lives.
See you next week.